Okay. Yeah, because this is just standing. All right. Hey everyone, my name is Monica, and in this video, I'm going to break down Surya Namaskara A, which is known as Sun Salutation A. This is going to be a beginner's breakdown with some options for making it a little bit more challenging. So we'll start in Samasthiti. Top of the mat, feet together, arms next to your side. Samasthiti is our equal standing position. It's kind of like our neutral position in yoga. It's where all of the standing postures come from. It's where all of the standing postures are born from in the standing sequence of Ashtanga Yoga. So although it looks really simple, it's really important to establish the correct foundation here, because without the right patterns being established here, then it'll be a lot harder to integrate all of the other postures in the correct way. Yeah? So just take a moment here and really make sure that you're establishing the right foundation, starting with the feet. Feeling the bottom of the feet and that point where the bottom of the feet and the mat are touching. So establishing that sense of grounding, feeling the weight of the body move down through the feet. And then further establishing that foundation by pressing down through the feet, specifically through 3 points in each foot. Underneath the base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe, and down through the center of the heel. You want even, equal amounts of weight going down through all 3 points in each foot. Good. And then engaging through the legs. So you're going to further establish this foundation by engaging through the quadriceps, these big muscles in the front of the thighs. Good. And then tucking the tailbone under. So this is really important for your neutral standing position, to tuck the tailbone under, which means find your sit bones. Your sit bones are those two bony bones underneath the hips, like right underneath the cheekbones, the cheeks, the butt cheeks. And those two bones are going to move down towards the floor as the lower belly pulls in. And when that happens, you feel a little bit of a lengthening happening in the lower back, pulling in the lower belly when that happens too. Good. So as the sit bones move down, the pubic bone also kind of lifts up, pulling in the lower belly, and then lengthening through the spine, dropping the shoulders down the back, lengthening through the neck and reaching up through the crown of the head. So as you reach down through the feet, you're lifting up through the crown of the head. This is a pattern that comes up over and over again, that equal and opposite energy, equal and opposite effort, moving down through the feet and up through the head. Yeah? And then finding yourself somewhere in the middle of that. Coming into the center line, and then coming into the breath. Watching the breath as it moves in and out through the nose, starting with your Ujjayi breathing, if you're familiar with that. Good. And now we'll start moving. So, starting with Surya Namaskara A. And we're just going to take it step by step, movements by movements. So, just the first movement of arms over your head. On your next inhale, you're going to bring the arms over your head, but I haven't told you to bring the arms over your head yet. I'm not kidding when I say we're taking it step by step. So when you bring your arms over your head, you want to externally rotate through the shoulders. So what does that actually look like? You're going to bring the arms in front of you, like at 45, like at a diagonal. Yeah, and the palms are going to face up. Palms facing up, pinkies in towards the center. Now your shoulders are externally rotating. And you're going to keep them externally rotating as you reach up over your head and the elbows come towards each other, palms together, gaze up. Good. So keeping the elbows towards each other, externally rotating. Exhale, slowly bring them down. Good. Yes, with control. Don't just flop them down to your side. So a couple things to know. If you have really tight shoulders, you might not be able to keep the external rotation and have the arms all the way up here. That's totally fine. Just bring them up a little bit forward. Or if you need to, bend the elbows a little bit. But these elbows coming in together and over your head is really important to keep the shoulders externally rotated and in the right position. Yeah? Okay, let's do that 2 more times. And now this time, another really important aspect of vinyasa, of moving with the breath, is moving with the breath. So come into the breath first before you lift the arms over your head, and just find the pace of your breath, of your controlled, long, steady breathing, and match the length of your movement to the length that you find in your breath. So your breath is setting the scene. So first, before you lift the arms over your head again, come into the breath, take a couple breaths in and out through the nose, and then according to that length, lift your arms over your head and then bring them back down. Good. So whenever you're ready, at your own pace, inhale, arms over your head, moving with the breath. The length of the breath and the length of the movement should be the same. Exhale, bring the hands down. Good. Good. Okay. So in these simpler movements, it's a little bit easier to match the length of the movement to the length of the breath. When we start getting a little bit more complicated, that gets harder, which is totally fine. We just add breaths in between where we need to. But now I'm getting ahead of myself. Now we're going to add the second movement, which is folding forward, and that happens on an exhale. So, Samasthiti, inhale, arms over your head, palms facing up, elbows towards each other. Press down as you reach up. Exhale. Now when you fold forward, your hips are going to have to shift back and your chest reaches forward. So go ahead, start folding forward. Hips back, chest forward. And then stop here, hold it here for a moment. You're going to get to a point where you reach the limit of your hamstring flexibility. At that point, you're going to round the back and then bring the hands to the floor and relax the neck. Good. Inhale, you're going to come right back up. Finding that straight spine, that flat back as soon as possible. Press down through the feet. Reach the arms up. Exhale as you, bless you. It's okay. Bless you. Exhale, bring the hands down into Samasthiti. Okay. So on the way down and on the way up, you want to try to find length through the spine the whole way. So, and Alexis did it really nicely. You try to keep the spine straight as long as possible, and then at a certain point, your hamstrings are just too tight to maintain that all the way down, so then you round the back. And if you still feel like there's a lot of pressure in the lower back, bend the knees at any point that you need to, yeah? Maybe at the end, you start to feel a lot of weight and tension in the lower back, just bend the knees for the rest of the way down, and same thing on the way up. You can bend the knees at the beginning, and then when you get to the top, you straighten the legs when you're standing. Okay, let's do it one more time. Just coming, inhale up and exhale down. Inhale, arms over your head, palms touch, gazing up. Exhale, hips shift back, chest reaches forward, spine is straight, and then round, hands to the mat and relax the neck. Bend your knees if you need to. On your next inhale, come right back up, rounding at first and then finding the straight spine as soon as possible. Exhale, Samasthiti. Good. 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 All right, adding in the third movement. Inhale, arms over your head, palms touch, gazing up. Exhale, swan dive forward, hips back, chest forward. Exhale, hands to the mat. Third movement, inhale into half lift. Fingertips keep touching the floor and reach the chest forward. Look up, but not so much where you're like cranking the neck. Yeah, the neck shouldn't be uncomfortable here. So you're trying to flatten the back. If the legs need to be bent, they can be bent. If your hamstring flexibility will allow it, you can straighten the legs. Pull the lower belly in. Good. Take another breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Relax the neck. Now you're going back to a round spine. Inhale, come up. Find the straight spine, press down through the feet and reach up. Exhale into Samasthiti. Good. So that half lift is like an inhale to come up and lengthen and find space through the upper part of the body, through the torso. So you want to think about moving your rib cage away from the hips. Let's do that again with the first three movements. Inhale, arms over your head, palms touch. Exhale, fold forward. Good. Relax the neck. Inhale into half lift. Flatten the back. Pull the lower belly and shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms over your head, come to stand, press down through the feet, palms touch, gazing up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Good. Okay, now I want you to try it by yourself and trying to match the length of your movement to the length of your breath. So in a moment now, I'm going to give you some silence to try it on your own. But before you start, just stand in Samasthiti for a couple breaths. Find that long, steady breath. See how long you can get the breath. Match the inhales to the length of the exhales. And then insert the length of the movement of each movement into that breath framework that you established for yourself. Okay, so whenever you're ready, just go at your own pace. Good. Keep going if you're still going. I'm just going to talk a little bit more. That was really nice, Alexis. So if you haven't already noticed, there's kind of a pattern in the movement of the inhales and the movement of the exhales. The inhales are upward movements and the exhales are downward movements. There's a lot of philosophy that goes behind this concept, but very basic and very easy to understand and actually feel in your body is inhales are moving up and exhales are moving down. Yeah, have you noticed that? Yeah, so it's cool. And that kind of helps you when you're using other postures and you're like, do I need an inhale here or do I need an exhale here? And that helps, that facilitates the experience of the asana and it helps you get deeper into certain asanas. So just kind of I think it's super cool to notice that and to use that philosophy of the breath in your actual physical body and your actual physical practice. Okay, we'll move on to the next movement, the fourth movement in Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, arms over your head, palms touch as you press down through the feet. Exhale, fold forward, hips back, chest forward. Hands to the mat, relax the neck. Inhale into half lift, lengthen, creating space. Exhale, bend the knees a lot. Palms are flat. And now step back into a plank position. Going for the fourth movement, Chaturanga Dandasana. There's a few ways of doing this, so I'm going to show you a couple. The first way, you're just going to plop down to the floor, but with the right technique in the shoulders. So that means elbows are in towards the ribs and shoulders are away from the ears. Whenever you're ready, just plop all the way down. Good. Good. We're going to refine that. Don't worry. So before I move on, I just want to take a moment here to do a supported Chaturanga Dandasana, supported with the floor, that is. So you're going to keep your hands where they are, probably. If they're in the wrong position, your fingertips should be in line with the shoulders. And your elbows should be in towards the ribs and the shoulders away from the ears. That's the position you should hold in the shoulders all the way down through the whole Chaturanga Dandasana. Okay, and now you're going to tuck the toes and engage through the legs. So eventually you do this without the floor supporting you where you're a little bit lifted. But for now, we're just going to worry about technique and about form. So we're going to have the floor to support us. You're engaging through the legs and you're pulling in the lower belly. You're sucking in the lower belly so you feel like it's about to lift off of the floor. Good. That's what helps us to engage the core. So whenever I say strong core and plank, that means just sucking the lower belly. So you find that strength in your core. Let's hold it here for 3 more breaths. 1, shoulders away from the ears, elbows in. 2, this is an active posture, strong legs. 3, okay, and release that. Now you're going to point the toes. We're going to move straight into the 5th movement of Surya Namaskara A, which is upward facing dog. So the first version is just lift halfway. Press into the tops of the feet and lift the chest halfway. Exhale, come down. Let's do that 2 more times. Press into the tops of the feet. Engage through the legs. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, come down. Good. 1 more. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, come down. Good. So again, in Chaturanga Dandasana and upward facing dog, We have the exhale in the downward moving, and then the inhale in the upward moving of upward facing dog. The chest is moving up. Okay, let's keep moving. So now we're going to go into the sixth posture of Surya Namaskara A. You're going to press into the hands and come onto the knees to a tabletop position. This is all happening on an exhale after the inhale of upward facing dog. And then you're going to tuck the toes and reach the hips up into downward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. So normally we hold this here for 5 breaths. I'm going to go over some alignment principles. So you want to spread the fingers wide and press down through the base of the pointer finger, externally rotating through the shoulders. And now you know what that is because you already established that pattern in Ekam inhale. Externally rotate through the shoulders. Relax the neck. So the back of the neck is long and you're gazing towards the thighs or towards the navel, whatever feels comfortable in the neck. And as you press into the hands, feel like you're pushing out of the shoulders as you reach the hips up and back. Pushing out of the shoulders. So you're pressing into the hands and pushing out of the shoulders, reaching the chest towards the thighs, reaching the hips up and down. Good. And then keep sending the energy down through the legs as the heels reach down towards the floor. They don't need to be touching, but that's the direction they're moving in. And the quads are engaged, strong quads. Good. Pull in the lower belly. Take one more breath here. Inhale, walk the feet up to the top, as close as you can get them to in between the hands. And you're coming into this half lift position. This is the 7th position, but it looks like the 3rd position. Good. Exhale, fold forward into the 8th position, which looks like the 2nd position. Now we're starting to reverse things if you've noticed. And then inhale to standing into the 9th position. Arms over your head, palms touch, which is the same as the 1st position. Exhale, Samasthiti, back where we started. Okay, so we kind of sped things up a little bit there at the end. Do you have any questions? Yeah? Okay, we're going to do that a couple more times, and I'm going to offer a couple different variations for some of the postures, especially Chaturanga and upward facing dog. And also know that both of these postures can be broken down so much more, but we're kind of just looking at the overall picture. And then as you practice, the more you practice, the more you can go in and look at each posture, refine each posture, explore each posture on a much deeper level. Okay, so inhale, arms over your head, palms touch, gazing up. Exhale, fold forward, using the breath, moving with the breath. Inhale into half lift, flattening the back. Exhale, bend the knees a lot, palms are flat, step back into a plank position. Strong plank, strong legs, strong core, pressing down through the shoulders, spreading the shoulder blades away from each other. Now this is a different variation for Chaturanga Dandasana, lower the knees. Here we're adding a breath because we're making the posture a little bit longer. Take a deep breath in. Remember, you move down as you exhale. So bend the elbows and maintain that structure in the shoulders I talked about. Shoulders away from the ears and elbows in. That was really nice. Good. So you're maintaining the same structure in the upper part of the body. You're just lowering the legs to take some of the weight off of the shoulders. This is really good if you're still building up strength in the body. So I always say it's a lot better to modify and keep the integrity in the structure of the posture rather than doing the full expression with the knees up, but like totally collapsing in the shoulders and cheating and finding a way out of actually doing it correctly, because then you're not building any strength if you're just cheating doing the full posture. Come back into a plank. I want to show you a really common thing that people do, and I want to point it out so that you don't do it. So you want to keep a straight line from the top of the head. Look forward a little bit. From here all the way down to the heels as you lower down. Don't let the hips like fall down to be the first thing that touches the floor. Keep the hips in line with the shoulders. That's what's going to build strength in the core and in the upper body. Okay, lower down. You can lower the knees if you need the help. Good, good. You see how she kept the body nice and straight? That was awesome. All right, so that was the exhale. That was the 4th movement. Coming into the 5th movement with an inhale, Upward facing dog. Before we just went up halfway, this time let's try the full expression where you straighten the arms. Upward facing dog. So a couple things. You want your shoulders on top of the wrist. So that means you need to shift everything forward a little bit. Yeah. Sometimes that requires that you drag your feet forward to bring the hips forward a little bit and down. Good. And press the shoulders down. And exhale as you move back into downward facing dog. Tucking the toes and finding your position. 5 breaths here. 1, pressing down to the base of the pointer finger. 2, externally rotating, shoulders moving away from the ears. 3, lengthening and deepening your breath. 4, good. 5, inhale, walk the feet as close as you can to the hands. Feet together into half lift. Good. Half lift, fingertips touching, reach the chest forward. Exhale, fold over the legs, relax the neck. Inhale, press down through the feet as you reach the arms up. Exhale, samasthiti. Good. Okay, let's do it 1 or 2 more times. I haven't decided. Okay, inhale, arms over your head, palms touch, gazing up. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the mat, relax the neck. Inhale into half lift, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, bend the knees, palms flat, find your plank. We're going to take an extra breath here. Inhale, establish your plank or lower the knees. And then exhale as you lower down to the floor. Inhale into upward facing dog. Remember, you're going to have to shift everything forward a little bit so the shoulders are over the wrist. Exhale into downward facing dog. Find your breath. 1, 2, externally rotating through the shoulders. 3, gazing towards the thighs or towards the navel. There's always a drishti point in yoga, which is a gazing point. 4, steady breathing. Your arms are shaking. That's okay. That's what builds strength and character, right? 5, inhale, walk the feet to the top. Look up and lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms over your head. Palms touch, gazing up. Exhale, samasthiti. Good. Okay. And I think we'll end it there. Yeah? Yeah. Thanks for watching. That was sort of like the level 1 introduction to Surya Namaskara A. There's a next step that we can take it, adding a little bit of variations that make it more challenging. But feel free to use this as a complete practice if you want. That was a full practice on its own. So if this is what you have time for, this is awesome. Just make sure that you end in Shavasana. You take your final resting pose after you practice this. So this is going to be your practice just to close off the practice. And I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see from me, anything you want me to break down, any tutorials you want me to create for you. I'd be more than happy to. So I'll see you soon in the next video. Namaste.